Welcome to the Industry Angel Podcast. We hear from the best business minds across the globe. Entrepreneurs, social influencers, marketing mavens, and sales rock stars. We've got them all. Here comes your weekly dose of inspiration with your host, Ian Farah.
Welcome to episode 137 of the Industry Angel. So I was inspired to record this today after a friend of mine. Welcome to episode 137 of the Industry Angel. Apologies if my voice is a little bit sketchy. I'm a little bit sore throat today, but tough because this episode you'll be hearing from me. No guest this week because I was inspired to record this after taking a call from one of my closest friends. He rang me to tell me he left his role by mutual consent. Now, my instant reaction was one of excitement, a new chapter, okay? He's an absolutely fantastic guy, super conscientious, caring, hardworking, very experienced and well-educated. So, what happened? Well, I know what happened. And it's a situation I see all too often in business. As the head of a business, you've got to surround yourself with people, obviously, more staff. When your organisation grows, acquires new customers, enters new markets, new products, you've obviously got to surround yourself with staff. If you don't, customer service drops, doesn't it? Lead times extend. Staff get stressed. Now, I've seen a massive change in business since I started out, because when I started, I was in a company of hundreds and there was lots of office politics, but way too many staff. Lots of layers. And when you have layers, you get people who can hide. You can get people who do the bare minimum. Now, that particular business looks drastically different now, actually, and it's become much more KPI focused. The shirkers were found out, and it's a much smaller, slimmer, leaner business. And I see a lot of that now. But what I'm saying is that in businesses now, there's no place to hide. The spotlight is brightly lit above your head. You're probably constantly connected to that phone that's nowhere, it's always a meter away, no further than that. And the team, therefore, have got to be firing on all cylinders. There's no bunts now, is there? There's no lean in there. Everyone's got to be pulling the weight. So as a business coach, I've worked with leaders who instantly want to remove the people who aren't firing, or who people they think aren't firing. I've actually worked for one as well. One leader who churned through commercial heads for fun until I found one who would actually ultimately just do what they wanted, a yes man. And when leaders churn through people, who do you think's the common denominator? There's 0 point in surrounding yourself with people who are replicas of you. Think like you, act like you, ultimately be an extension of you. Where does the idea generation come in? Where's the inspiration and the culture to test and play? Well, there isn't one because they're just you. Now, what's sad about the situation my friend is in is that although he'll be gobbled up super quick or he'll start his own gig, what's sad is that the company have lost an absolute rock star because the senior managers didn't get what he was trying to do. They didn't take the time to understand. 7 months into the position, gone. Now I get it. Hire fast, let them go fast. It can be wise if they are totally unsuitable. You just know sometimes that's the right thing to do for both parties. But a lot of the times, it's just a costly, wasteful mistake that could have been avoided if they'd taken the time to understand and discuss where things might have fell down. An itchy trigger figure can be absolutely devastating. A perfect environment for this is to get out of the building. You might remember we've been doing some of this carp away walk, so I've been taking people out into nature and chatting through stuff. It's magnificent. Walking, talking, you're breathing, you're getting great fresh air. It's just, I don't know, it's just Amazing. So keep an open mind. You can talk stuff through. You never know what that person's going through either. Not just in the personal life, but what I've seen so much of is you don't actually know what they do at work because they aren't a self-promoter. Maybe someone else has taken the credit for what they do. So at the end, okay, you've done this exploration. If the solution is to part ways, then so be it, at least to give it a shot. We've just got to leave the ego at the door. Don't be quick to pull the trigger. And we've got to remember as well, business leaders, we work for our employees. They don't work for us. We have to ensure the culture is right. They've got to feel safe, happy, inspired, fulfilled in their roles. We aren't doing them a favour by letting them work for us. I've spoken to too many leaders who complain that Danny isn't pulling his weight. He's the first one out the door at 5 o'clock. Why is that a bad thing? Maybe Danny has put in 8 hours of absolute dedicated hard work. Why is that a bad thing he leaves at 5? It's pretty easy to sit at your desk, turn the monitor to the side and troll Facebook and play solitaire and then be the last one out of the building. It's easy to wander around the office, making coffee, hanging out at the water fountain, volunteer to go for sandwiches. Not only is Danny a hard worker, he's desperate to get home to see his little girl. And if he leaves 5 minutes later, he misses the train. He gets stuck in traffic. You can't expect your teams to be as passionate as you are. They've got no skin in the game. Why should they be loyal to you anyway? You might have an exit strategy to sell up in 5 years' time. Where does that leave them? And Danny, he's given you the best years of his life. He's 23. He's in his 20s, okay? He could be in Ibiza. He could be surfing in Bali. He could be taking a year out. But no, he works for you. 5 days out of 7. People will be loyal to themselves and what they love and what they believe. But that doesn't mean they won't put the graft in. They will put in the hard yards for you, especially if there's a fantastic culture and they feel fulfilled. And actually, talking about culture, I'm a rant here, and that just got me thinking. There's one thing that breaks culture, and it's rules. Now, yes, it's being a bit extreme if I decided to say what would happen if there wasn't any rules. Rules and guidelines are there to protect. I get it. But I've met way too many companies who have the most atrocious rules and policies imaginable. If you have a team, there needs to be give and take. For instance, if you decide there's no mobile phone policy on desks, ask yourself, why have you enforced that? Where's it come from? Was it like 3 years old when Tina abused it and spoiled it for everybody else? Tina's gone now. Or is it generally better, as clients don't like to see that when they walk in? You've had feedback and they've said they've seen phones on desks and they don't feel the customer service is good. That's fair enough if that's true. If you restricted internet access, is it because you don't trust them? And if you don't trust them, what are they doing working for you anyway? There often can be genuine reasons, I get it, but some crazy stuff out there, even telling people when they can get a drink or when they can go to the bathroom. If you're thirsty, then take a drink, surely. And if you need to go to the toilet, then what are you going to have them do? Wait desperately? They aren't robots. And I've said this way too many times. A red felt pool table and a pinball machine isn't culture. I've worked for an organisation like that. Taking the staff for a pint on a Friday after work isn't culture. You've got to constantly be communicating with your team. Give them the safe environment, the platform to talk to you straight and honestly. And if you can't take that feedback, you're in the wrong game. Without it, your business is going to be negatively affected without that feedback, surely. Customer service will be weaker. Sickness and staff churn will be higher. and the culture will just suck. You know, I had to laugh yesterday. I remembered when we were younger, we would let our boss know how unhappy we were at work by we'd leave the jobs page out of the section of the paper. We'd leave that on the desk or on the in tray. So when the boss would walk past, he'd see that on the desk and he'd think, oh my word, he's going to leave. Maybe I need to give him a rise or see if anything's okay, you know. Now, some of your colleagues, some of your strongest team members might be looking elsewhere right now. They might be being poached now off a competitor. They might leave in a month's time. Is it really worth trying to save the £1,000 that they should definitely have as a rise, because that's just the going market rate? Is it worth trying to save that rather than have them leave? You know, they could leave, they could take clients with them, it could affect the culture. You know, there might be a good click there with friends and then they've gone and there's a gap. You've got to then retain someone else. You've got to then bring somebody else into the business and train them up, get them up to speed. So they're not firing on all cylinders, they're like 50%, and then it's taking you to train them up. So do your homework. Here's your homework for you. There you go, rant over it, Ian, calm down. Take a look at your rule book, get a red pen, get rid of those bloody stupid rules. People are human, you know, love them. Culture, think about that. Take your team out individually for a walk. Get in the fresh air. Be genuinely interested in what makes them tick. Okay? Let them tell you how they're feeling. Let them tell you what they would change about the business. Take a sledgehammer and smash that pool table if it's just a prop. Actually, obviously, donate it to a youth club, but you get what I'm talking about. And take a look at yourself as well. You know, what do you think employees say about you when you aren't in the room? So take your finger off the trigger before you do let somebody go. Try and understand if there's any way to salvage the position or redeploy them somewhere else. Back the horse, not the jockey, i.e. back the employee, not the idea or the position or the project. Because if you've got a good person, you've got to do your best to keep them. Training is the easy bit, but finding that rock star is the hard bit. You know, you can always train them into something else. My mate's a rock star, and they've totally failed. Okay then, drop me a line if you've got any thoughts, if that's resonated with you guys. You can tweet me, Ian_Farrer, or you can see all the contact details on industryangel.com, or actually they should be in the show notes. If you scroll up on your player of choice, you should see them in there. Okay then, until next time, I'm Ian Farrer, this is the Industry Angel, and thanks for listening.